everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I'm Casey Talley, Director of Team Member Relations, and we are so excited to have you with us. This webinar is focused on showing you how to give product recommendations, but keep it simple. We are going to help you feel more confident than ever when it comes to recommending the right product to the right people. Because let's be honest, one of the biggest questions we get is, what do I recommend and when? So today, we're going to break it down in a way that is easy, practical, and ready to be put into action immediately. We're going to walk you through how to match the right products to each customer's needs, how to use our product recommendation guide and quick recommendations chart, and you're going to see how to truly understand what to recommend across our full product line. So grab something to take notes and get ready, because this training can truly simplify your business and help you serve people at a higher level. And now it's my honor to introduce someone who is going to take everything I just mentioned and bring it to life in a powerful and practical way. His expertise and passion for helping people understand how to use these products effectively truly makes a difference. So with that being said, please help me welcome Medical Advisory Board member, Dr. Philip Smith, to the webinar.
Thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this amazing 2026 training. I'm looking forward to sharing what we have found out about being healthy. And I want to take a minute and start about my personal health journey. I got into First Fitness because of a health issue, and it wasn't a small one. At the ripe old age of 39, I found myself on a heart cath table. And that was a real come to Jesus moment. I realized that I had to make some changes in my life in how I was approaching my health, or things were going to turn out really, really bad for me. But like many of you out there, I didn't know where to go, and I didn't know where to ask, but I had a cousin that was a cardiac nurse. And so I thought, well, who better to talk to? I talked to my cousin. It just so happened that she was a First Fitness nutrition distributor. And she told me about a heart product that we now call Cardio First. And I started on that product, and it was a game changer for me. And we're looking now 30 years later, and I'm still really, really healthy. I don't have any heart issues at all. And it's really because she knew what to tell me, and I followed that recommendation. So let's start by looking at what I used in my practice on a regular basis, and things that I still use really today on a regular basis. So when you look at health, you've got to start with the gut. You know, everything really begins on the inside and works its way out. So when I was in practice, one of the main things that my patients used, and I still use today, I always recommended Renew. I felt that was vitally important in helping them make that first step to getting back to optimum health and wellness. If they had been in a situation where they were maybe having some liver issues or whatever, the liver cleanse. And then herbal tea was something that I used. The Fit to a Tea, I used it with my adult patients, and I recommended it for my pediatric patients because it worked just as well with them in helping to balance their gut health without the harshness of the more powerful Renew. Now, when we look at wellness, the things I used really on a very regular basis was Cardio First. That was primary because it was a big thing with me. But also the Vital Green. I had a lot of my patients, and I still recommend that to people today, the Vital Green, for just an overall health and wellness and general well-being, because of the things it can do to increase your body's wellness level. There's always questions about digestive health, and that was something that I recommended on a regular basis for people for digestion, was the Renew, along with some other supplements that we'll talk about in a little bit. Joint health. Well, I was a chiropractor, so guess what my primary concern was? Joints, muscles, ligaments, and tendons, and joints. So we always recommended for every patient that had degenerative joint or any kind of joint issue, we recommended Rejuvicel. And I also used a lot of Zevita. Every new patient in my practice was recommended Zevita for a number of reasons. And I'll talk about those again in a minute as well. So when you're looking at whole body wellness, these are the products that you draw from. Now, if you're looking in the sports realm, or not even the sports realm, but just somebody that's interested in energy and fitness, one of the things that I recommended on a really regular basis, and my kids and grandkids were all in sports. So guess what we used? We used a lot of the rehydration. So really, really fantastic for keeping those kids and people rehydrated. And so, energy drink for patients that ask me about being fatigued and run out of energy quickly, the energy drink was something that we always recommended quite frequently. Now, one of the things that didn't get, well, I should have used it more, and I wish I had have, but I was more geared toward musculoskeletal in my practice. But, I have found that I personally am using some of the skincare products, and that's why I look so young and great today. But the anti-aging product, particularly, I use on a fairly regular basis, and I do use some of the skincare products throughout the week as well. But I use the anti-aging stuff on a very regular basis as well. So let's come to this right here, the product recommendations. This new product guide, this is a needs-based supplement guide. I actually had something similar to this in my practice that I made up early on so that I had a place to go to. If a patient mentioned something, I could say, okay, you're going to need this, this, and this product. And so that's what Nigel and his team have now put together. It's incredible. I love this thing, Nigel. This is probably one of the best things that have come down the pike in First Fitness, in my opinion, because it makes it so easy when somebody tells you, oh, I've got this or that, to go, oh, well, you should do this. It's a product recommendation guide. You can find it in office to office, your training tools, but you need to use this. And I mean, it should be with you. Put it in your, make a plastic copy of it, laminate it, put it with you, get it where it's with you all the time so that you've got it to refer to until you pretty much got it memorized. And that's how I would go with that. So let's look how to use this guide. It's really so straightforward and so simple. Somebody says, the customer says, hey, then you say, well, you need to start here. And when appropriate, and because this is a lot of times going to be budget related, when it's appropriate, either through the initial recommendation or the budget restraints or constraints, then you go to the next step add-ons. And that's exactly what I did in my practice. I found that patients, when it came to nutritional support, they had kind of a window, a number window in mind that they were willing to invest in addition to their chiropractic care. So you're going to have a window that these patients and these customers are willing to invest with you. And so you don't want to hit them with a great big number right up front. So you're going to want to start with precisely what they tell you they need. And they're going to tell you what they need. For example, if they say, you know what, I need to lose weight, that's where you start. We're going to start with, okay, then you need Trimsulin. And you tell them why insulin is going to be the best thing they could do to help their weight loss. And then you can go into the next step or the add-ons. If they would like a little extra, say they want to deal with the cellulite, you can tell them about Trimbolic. If they're wanting something to add in for a little more protein, or they want something in addition, tell them about the body effects, and you can add those on as they want it or need it, or as their budget allows for it. Now, when it comes to gut health, like I said, this was big for me. I still take Renew every day, but if somebody's telling you I'm bloated or I'm constipated or I've got indigestion, where do you start? Well, you start with Renew. This is the key thing that's going to help that person get to where they want to be with their gut. So you start there. And if able, then depending upon maybe they've got a lot of high indigestion up high early on in their ingestion of food, then you might want to add in LifeGest or Biomega if they've got indigestion issues as well. But you work within their budget, and you can put these add-ons as they are able to work them in. You can always end up bringing one or two or maybe even three products into a person's life that work wonderfully well for them and fits their budget. So when we look at daily wellness, for example, and all the wellness products, Vital Green, somebody's talking to you about, well, I just want to be generally healthier. I want to have that, that feel-good feeling. This is a great place to start. Vital Green and Biomega. Those are two of the best products to really bring the body back to overall sensation of wellness and that feeling they have that, yeah, you know what, I really feel like I'm well and I feel good. And you can explain how those products work to them. You should have an understanding of that from the other trainings that we've done. Now, if you want to add on to that, then, obviously vitamins and minerals are a key, although Biomega has that. You could add in First Essentials or the 8RX if they want to address their immune system. So you can keep adding these things in as you are able to bring. But I would not bring it all in one bundle and hit them with it because they're going to walk away because it's just too overwhelming. Now, for me, cardiovascular health, this is something that I still really focus on personally. And I talk to patients and people about this all the time. So if somebody's talking about, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, circulatory system, or cardiovascular heart issues, start right with cardio first. This is probably one of the best products that I've ever come across in my practice of health and wellness over the years in terms of cardiovascular system. It's just amazing. And the 8RX is a wonderful product in support of that. So in this case, I think I would actually recommend both of these things. And if that's too much for them, then I would subtract out the 8RX and add it in later. Now, energy and wellness. So your folks that are really looking at, I need more energy, hey, I want to work out. What do I need to do to help my workout? Or I just feel drained all the time. You're going to start with the energy drink. This is an incredible product that's going to help restore their energy. And it does a lot of other things too. It improves focus. It does a number of things, but it's going to deal with this. I need energy. I feel drained. And it's going to help their workouts too. Now, somebody that's really focusing on workout, you can always add the pre-workout. Matter of fact, this happened just this week with me at the gym. I had a gentleman there that we had started with the energy, and he says, hey, do you have anything just for workout? I said, yeah, sure, we got. And I gave him the pre-workout, and he loves it. And of course, then the rehydration, particularly in the summertime, that's something you might want to talk to him about when the temperatures go up, is getting that hydration in there. Now, joint and structural support. So when we talk about structural support, that's all the muscles, ligaments, tendons, and all the structures of the musculoskeletal system. But Rejuvicell is an incredible way to address all of those in one single bottle. So that's where I would start. And this is where I started with all my patients and my clients today. I still start with this, the ones who have arthritic issues and joint issues. I start here because it does help rebuild that joint and lubricate it. Now, if I'm going to add on to that, then I start talking to them about the collagen peptides because of its amazing ability to rebuild. Zavita works wonders when it comes to just general inflammatory response. It helps reduce that. And then, of course, the CBD hemp oil. That is an amazing product to help improve overall recovery times and reduce those. So that's where I would go with this. I would start, obviously, the customer says, hey, my joints hurt. This is where you start. Doesn't this seem so simple? I mean, it makes it just so straightforward and so simple. Now, how many times have you heard, boy, I just don't sleep well at night. I'm up all the time, or I feel really stressed out. I just can't shut my mind down. It's always running. The hemp oil. Start with the CBD-rich hemp oil. That is what it's designed to do, is to help support relaxation, calmness, mood stability, and give you restful sleep. I recommended this quite frequently, actually, in my practice, along with the Zavita, which I mentioned earlier. Every new patient got this recommendation. Did everyone take it? No, but everyone got that recommendation because it does a wonderful job to help the body relax. Now with the skincare, wow, I use this for my aging. I got a few wrinkles, at 70 something years old. So I try to help that. And I'll tell you, the skincare products, they're amazing. Every time I listen to Sandra, I just shake my head and take more notes. So I certainly would start with what they're telling you. My skin looks dry and unhealthy. Well, which product fits that? Start with that. Fine lines and wrinkles. I want to reduce my aging rate, or I want to reduce how fast I'm aging. Then you start with the anti-aging products and go there. So the collagen peptides, remember we talked earlier, collagen peptides rebuild the connective tissue. So that helps rebuild the connective tissue, that helps keep that skin tight and helps keep the skin hydrated. The renew, what's that got to do with skin? Well, we've talked numerous times about that. Really the renew nourishes, like I said early, the body from inside out. So it nourishes the skin from the inside to the out. So I would certainly look at making that part of your recommendation when you can work it into the system for that particular individual. In closing, I want you to access the product recommendation guide in the office to office. It's a great tool that you can use for recommending your products to your clients. And I know that 2026 is going to be an amazing year for you in First Fitness Nutrition, and I look forward to hearing about your successes. I'm going to pass it back to you.
Dr. Smith, thank you so much for that incredible training and just for the wealth of knowledge that you pour into all of us at First Fitness Nutrition every time we hear from you. So team, now I'm excited to go over our quick recommendations chart with you. And we created this chart for a quick way for you to recommend the First Fitness Nutrition products to match the needs of each of your customers. So what we've done is we've taken all the First Fitness Nutrition products and listed them in the category that they belong. So for example, we are going to use the weight loss and weight management category. We have all those products listed there. You have Trimsling Control, Thermo Renew, Body Effects, and Trimbolic, and they are selected under the weight loss and weight management tab. But what you'll also notice is that some products may be listed in multiple categories. For example, the Renew is listed in 4 categories. We have it under weight loss and weight management, gut health and digestive support, daily wellness and immune support, and skincare and anti-aging support. So as you go through this chart, you'll notice that some of the products could be listed in multiple categories. We recommend that you keep these tools with you at all times. Screenshot them, save them to your phone, print them out. We have made them easily accessible for you. They are going to be in your back office, and once you get logged in, you're going to click on Training and Tools, and then you're going to select Product Training, and they're going to be right there on the home page, both of them at the very top. So team, I hope you learned a lot in this webinar. Take these tools, go out there and be successful. We are with you every step of the way. We want to thank you again for joining us, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye, everyone.